Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Today, Bitcoin rallies further and it's on the verge of making a new high. It's about to break $60,000. That's right. Do you still remember when Bitcoin fell to 43,000? No, this is what I was saying all along. When Bitcoin makes the next leg up, no one's going to remember. No one is going to remember the downs that we had, and things are looking pretty good, and I know you guys are feeling good. I'm feeling good. So let's discuss why Bitcoin is heading higher, why it's about to break $60,000, and why it's about to make a new high. And what about all the altcoins that will follow? Yeah, they're going to be making some moves too. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure you tune in to my dual streams, one in the morning, one at night, 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you follow me on Twitter and Facebook and hit that notification bell. All right, let's do this. Thank you for being here with me, those of you guys that are in the chat. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Bitcoin is right under $57,000. So we had a little, I guess, a little scare. I don't know if you call that. I had a live stream yesterday at night about VeChain, a project that I think is fantastic, one of the most undervalued projects out there, if not the most undervalued project out there. But during that stream, Bitcoin fell down from 55.8 down to about 53, and people were panicking again. I'm like, chill, chill out. And look at this morning, Bitcoin came right back up, and now it's around 57,000. Our previous high was 58,000. So we're right there. And after 58,000, you know, 60,000 right around the corner. And you know, where does it go ahead, right? If history is any indication, the last few months we've been basically doubling from the lows. So that means our low of 43,000, you double that, we could be seeing about 85, 86, maybe even 90,000 this next leg up. Yeah, that could be coming. That could be coming right around the corner. Every time we start moving up and we form a new, form a new leg, it goes up very, very fast. Look at it last time. You know, after Bitcoin hit 43,000, went down, hovered a little bit, and then when it hit 43,000 again, boom, right up, right? Really, really, really fast. And look at it. We're mimicking this right now, right? We came down. Now we're coming back up right towards like this point coming up over here. And then guess what? Next is boom, right back up. So yeah, so that's what it's looking like right now. Things are looking pretty darn good for Bitcoin. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, well, did F2 pool get smashed? Did we put the ultimate short squeeze on them? Possibly. I've been talking about how it's basically F2 pool versus the world, right? Whatever they're doing, it's futile. It might have some small effects, but overall, the world is buying Bitcoin. You have one small little peanut versus the world, and it's a losing battle. But I did want to make a quick note about, you know, crypto quant. It seems like they're you know, rushing to help F2 pool. I don't know what it is, but you know, before I mentioned about how they renamed their F2 pool outflow to affiliate miner outflow, they recently sent an email saying that their goal, you know, remove some of these affiliate miner outflow and call them unknown miner outflows, which doesn't really help. If they have the address, they probably could associate it with some group, but they said they're gonna do that. But I think they made changes already. I've been showing you guys the outflow from F2 pool for the last few days, and notice that it is very, very low, with the exception of this one big spike, about 2,000 Bitcoins. But you can see the volume is pretty low. Yesterday, it did spike up a little bit when we had that dip down to 53, just a little bit. But here, look at this. This is the F2 pool outflow versus all miner outflow. So you could see that, yes, even though they're very similar, but you could definitely see that there's some spikes that's missing. For example, if you go all miner outflow, you could see that this one, there's an outflow of 600 that doesn't appear on the F2 pool one. And I'm trying to correlate this, and it doesn't correlate on any other outflows. So it does seem like Crypto Quant has made changes already. And they remove some of the affiliate miners outflow from F2 pools outflow, but they haven't shown the charts yet, so you can't find it. So that is a little disturbing right now. But hopefully they will post that so we can use that as a guidance. Use that as a warning sign in case there is something that's go happen. But I did notice that there is a change. There is a change with CryptoQuant. So I don't know what it is. CryptoQuant is like coming to rescue, doing a lot of PR control for F2 pool. I don't know why, but they are. But anyways, that's what's going on with F2 pool. Basically, outflow looks very, very small, and overall miner outflow is very small. And this is really just a distraction. There's no way they can win against the world, the world, which is buying Bitcoin by the billions upon billions upon billions upon billions right now. All right, so moving on from here. So what's causing Bitcoin to go up? Let's talk about some of the recent events, not some of the stuff that I've been talking about for a long time. But we know that Bitcoin ETFs now exist. Approved in Canada, you can buy in the US, and this is starting to really ramp up. So the very first one from Purpose, fund under management is now closing in around 900 million, pretty soon $1 billion, right? So this has been going up quite a bit. And this has been around only for 2 weeks. So this is scaling up really, really quick. Now, Galaxy Digital just came out with their own Galaxy Bitcoin Fund, and I was looking it up, and they've only launched for a single day. I believe yesterday was the opening day, or maybe it was Monday, but they only been open for a few days, and their total net assets are already $180 million. So you add the two together, that's $1 billion worth of Bitcoin right there sitting in these two funds. And this just started. So Bitcoin ETFs is definitely having a big effect. There's a lot more institutional investors, average Joes, that are putting their money into Bitcoin ETFs. It's just so easy for them to do so, rather than to learn Coinbase and or one of these other exchanges and actually go through creating an account and buying Bitcoin, or asking them to do like a big OTC buy and all that stuff. You have to worry about where to hold it, a custody service, and all that stuff. They can just go buy Bitcoin ETF. That's simply it. They get exposure to Bitcoin, and on the flip side, these fund companies have to buy Bitcoin to satisfy it. So it works out. And both of these are providing very, very, very low management fees. I noticed that Purpose is charging about a 1% management fee, while Galaxy Digital, they claim that they're even less at 0.5% management fee. So, I mean, they do charge something for this service, but it's very, very, very small. And this is also having effect. I think so many institutional investors or just investors overall are flocking to Bitcoin ETF that it is actually having effect on Grayscale. Remember, we've been talking about Grayscale and their Bitcoin trust and how that premium has gone negative. That's not a good look. So now the parent company of Grayscale, Digital Currency Group, they are going to buy 250 million shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust because of that negative premium. It's not a good look for them, and they're basically selling Bitcoin at below cost. So now the parent company is actually buying it. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. So Digital Grayscale, they have to change their game plan, because Grayscale right now does charge a 2% management fee, and there is this premium that people have always paid for because there was no product that was better. But now that Bitcoin ETFs exist, they're feeling the hurt. But I don't want to make it sound like they're in real trouble, because here's the thing: you look at how much Bitcoin they actually own. In that trust, they own 649,000 Bitcoins. That's roughly 3% of the entire supply, 36 billion. So I don't want to over-exaggerate, and I don't want to paint this doom and gloom picture on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, how they're done. No, That amount of Bitcoin, 649,000, is locked in their trust. And how their trust works is they basically never sell that. That's in there forever. So you have a lot of Bitcoins that is being removed from circulation right now, going towards Bitcoin Trust, going towards these Bitcoin ETFs. And there's also futures that are settled in Bitcoin. They're small, but they're building up. And so, this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin is going up so much, is because you have so much interest right now. There's just so many people that wants a piece of Bitcoin, and now these products makes it so easy. Basically, no excuse why not to get into Bitcoin. Obviously, buying an ETF is not the same as buying real Bitcoin, right? But for a lot of people that just simply wants quick exposure to it, they don't really care about the decentralization, piece of Bitcoin and blockchain. This gets it done. This gets it done. So I think this is big. Both of these Bitcoin ETFs, and there's another Bitcoin ETF too that came out. I didn't even look at their numbers, but this is having a big effect on Bitcoin. All right, and what else is having an effect on Bitcoin? Well, now you have the biggest banks out there that are basically shilling Bitcoin like crazy. Goldman Sachs recently announced that they're going to reopen their crypto trading desk. And now they're telling people that Bitcoin is destroying everything. Everything. So you shouldn't even consider anything else. You should just consider Bitcoin. So obviously this kind of endorsement does help. They had a chart up basically showing Bitcoin comparing to, I think it might be in here. No, it's not this article, but comparing it to commodities, stocks, indexes, basically anything out there. And Bitcoin destroys them all. Destroys them all. So it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to find anything negative to say about Bitcoin now. Because ultimately the collective group decides whether or not Bitcoin is here to stay, whether it's worth something. And you know what? Bitcoin is definitely worth something as it approaches $60,000 and continues higher, while everything else is struggling right now. So the collective group has basically declared Bitcoin the winner. So that is why its 2021 return is literally destroying everything. It's not even close. It's not even close. And of course, you have a lot of these big hedge funds and Wall Street guys and investment companies, they're all joining in. So besides Goldman Sachs, you have Soros and Morgan Stanley. They're putting big money into NYDIG, which is, of course, a big Bitcoin investment firm. And they are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And even, I just saw this, JP Morgan is launching a crypto exposure basket that's featuring companies that have bought Bitcoin, such as MicroStrategy and Square and Tesla and others. So everyone is getting involved. All this adds up. This is why Bitcoin is just unstoppable force. When Bitcoin was at 43,000, when it was at 30,000, when it was at 10,000, you know what? I've always believed that it was going to go higher, right? Sometimes it's hard to believe. Sometimes it's, you feel it. But what we went through for the past 2-3 months since 2021 has been nothing compared to crypto winter from 2018, 2019, and even early on in 2020, right? So now we're just sitting pretty. There's absolutely no worry at this point. There's no worry, no doubt in my mind. Bitcoin will be at 100,000 in the near future. I called 100,000 by end of April. I'm going to stick with that. I think realistically, we could get there. We still have about a month and a half, a month and 3 weeks. I think we'll get there. I really think we'll get there. So yeah, we're sitting pretty. All right, moving on. What else is there? Well, Ethereum is also joining the game in terms of having all these derivatives like futures. There's no Ethereum ETF yet, but there is futures, and there's also Ethereum Grayscale Trust as well. So, but people are looking at this and say, hey, why is Ether trailing Bitcoin now ever since futures launch? Is there something to that? Is it because the Wall Street guys are now kind of suppressing it? Or is it the Wall Street guys, basically they launched this right at top, right? So it's kind of unknown right now. But here's what I have to say. Steven, I don't agree with that. So I'm going to answer why towards the Q&A. But here's the thing. Ethereum and Bitcoin, they always have times where they correlate, they move in tandem. There's times where Ethereum does really well, and there's times where Bitcoin does really well, right? So the time scale is too small right now. But when I looked at Ethereum and compared their performance last 6 months, last 12 months, they were gaining on Bitcoin. In fact, many periods, they outperformed Bitcoin. So right now, if it trails a little bit, that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're dead. Doesn't mean that they're manipulated or suppressed so much that they'll never move. That's not the case at all, right? You just have to expand your time frame a little bit. Too many of us, spend every single moment, every single minute studying the charts or looking at prices, and we get that tunnel vision, and we start believing what we're seeing on such a small time frame, like, oh, why is ETH not moving, but why is BNB moving, or why is ADA moving? And all of a sudden now people are asking, why is ADA not moving, and why is Ether moving, right? Expand out your time frame, and then you'll realize everything is moving up as accordingly, right? And they have made tremendous moves. So you gotta get out of that narrow time frame, and you'll be okay. All right. So speaking of Ether and Ethereum, those of you guys that are miners, you'll be happy to hear about that. The brand new NVIDIA RTX 3060 GPUs, which NVIDIA said that they were going to cap, that you can't use it for mining, or if you do so, it'll be stupid because they basically limit the hash rate. So now hackers have figured out a way around it really easily, so you can buy them and use them to mine Ethereum. Here's the funny thing. NVIDIA is taking the stance like, you have miners and then you have gamers. And gamers are complaining that the miners are buying all the cards. Well, this is such a good problem to have. That means you have so much demand, right? You need to figure it out. Rather than trying to limit one group and try to satisfy the other group, you know what? You should be actually catering to the miners right now, because guess what? They're buying up majority of your cards to mine with. I bet if you look at the breakdown in terms of the sales, I bet you it's more like 90% being sold to the miners and 10% for gaming. Honestly, if they actually had a breakdown like that, I bet it would be like that. So they should actually do the reverse. And come out with cards just for mining and not worry so much about the gaming right now, especially right now when it's hot. And you know what? NVIDIA's competitor, AMD, is doing exactly that. AMD is now going to come out with Ethereum mining cards, dedicated cards with no outputs. Dual outputs, dual HDMI or whatever output and all this stuff. They're removing all that because you don't need it for mining, right? So this is what I don't get. I don't get NVIDIA's strategy, trying to cater to the gamers. No, you can't. You cater to the miners. They're the ones that's buying all your cards because they're the ones making money from them. These gamers are not. They're just kids. They're just kids complaining that they can't play Fortnite at 8K resolution. You know what? Cater to the miners. This is not going to go away until some time, until Ethereum moves to proof of stake fully to 2.0. But even then, a lot of the GPU miners, they'll probably just move to Ethereum Classic or something like that. Who knows, right? But I just find the whole thing silly. I find it silly that they're trying to cater to the gamers and not the miners. They should cater to the miners more. All right, moving on from there. What else is there? Well, more Doge news. So now Komodo is launching a new Doge DEX that will make it easier for fans to make peer-to-peer exchange of the cryptocurrency. So you can see, the ecosystem is building. People still laugh at Dogecoin, but you know what? Dogecoin holders are having the last laugh because it's still 5.5 cents, still at number 15, and now you're seeing Mark Cuban shill it. Of course, you see Elon shill it, but now you're having DEXs made, and who knows? Maybe DeFi is coming. Well, DEX is actually considered DeFi, but maybe there'll be yield farming and AMMs and NFTs, and of course NFTs is a perfect transition. But all this could be coming to Dogecoin, so it's no longer a joke coin. There's actually purpose and use for it. So yeah, I'm actually kind of glad to see that. Kind of glad to see that. All right. Ripple. Brad says Ripple and YouTube has agreed to work together to tackle these XRP scams, because before all these Bitcoin scams, there were all these XRP scams. So Ripple sued YouTube, and then now they've resolved that. Hopefully, whatever they're working on also applies to Bitcoin, because there are still Bitcoin scams out there, which is why I still think some channels get banned because of it, because the algorithm gets confused on what's a real live stream versus like a scam live stream. So hopefully YouTube figures it out. I know they're still underpowered right now, but hopefully they figure that out. All right, what else is there? Yeah, I think that's it. All right, before I get into Q&A, do have a new sponsor, Unification. This is an old project. I remember covering them back in 2018. I did look them up. They had a very, very, very small token sale in 2019, only raised $400,000. But I totally forgot, and then I looked them up, and then I remember, yeah, they've been around for a while. So Unification is all about businesses having private blockchains for businesses and also having a public blockchain. So basically, it's a dual setup, and there's many advantages to that. But now they're getting into the DeFi space. They want to get into DeFi, which is why they launched this brand new, this brand new token and utility, basically called XFund. So they do have two tokens now. Before they have Fund, and they still have Fund, which basically is used for staking, for on-chain governance. Now with XFund, they're launching off-chain governance, and they're launching an Oracle. They call it the Oracle of Oracles. So they are definitely jumping into the DeFi space. If you look at it, they do have a yield farm. You can find them on Uniswap, and they are launching XFund. So what is XFund exactly? Well, it serves two purposes. Number one is that, yeah, it's going to be an Oracle play, so that dApps or any other project that needs to utilize data, price feed from the exchanges, well, it's going to help with that. In fact, they actually have this webpage called finchains.io. So they're tracking basically the prices from 15 different exchanges. So they go utilize this with their XFund to make sure that dApps or DeFi project that wants reliable data, they're going to get it through that. But XFund is also more than that. Besides Oracle, it's also off-chain governance, which I didn't really understand what that meant. On-chain governance, basically, you stake, right? You can participate, and you can decide and help power the network and decide what's right and wrong. But off-chain governance, according to them, is basically you decide whether or not the on-chain governance is doing its job. Basically, you can actually vote and decide what the company's doing, who should be a node, and all this other stuff. So basically it gives power to the hands of the people, which is kind of interesting. Also, XFund is a ERC20 token, and that's interesting. So Fund is not a ERC20 token. This is native token, but XFund is a ERC20 token. So they do have this dual token setup, which is really unique. I don't know why they chose XFund to be an ERC20 token, but they did. So XFund is not only this new Oracle play, also it's a new off-chain governance that they are releasing to help basically make everything more decentralized. So kind of unique. And I looked at their Twitter. So right now, about 4 days ago, they just launched this. So this is in beta, but pretty soon it will be done. It will be ready for public testing. So yeah, so that's Unification and XFund in a nutshell. So if you guys are interested, the descriptions are URL is in the description of this video. All right, let's move on to Q&A. Bitcoin is still doing pretty well. Came down a little bit, but overall still doing very, very well. All right, so I didn't miss one person's super chat earlier. asking about BitBoy's opinion about how the Bitcoin bull cycle, or basically it's going to top out by the end of the year. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. This cycle that we're in, this last year of this cycle, I think it's going to basically continue forever. There could be some up and downs, of course, like we've seen in the past, but I don't believe that we're going to see an 85% drop from highs. So whatever we will end up at, Bitcoin ends up at $500,000, $600,000, even if we don't get up that high. Let's just say $200,000, $250,000. I believe we stay up there. I believe there could be a small retracement, but not at 85%. And that's because just look at this list of growing funds and publicly traded companies that is basically buying Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, and they're just keeping it. They're just holding it. There's no reason for these guys to say, okay, the end of the year is here, so let's all sell. That's not going to happen. I mean, Michael Saylor, he's going to have more convertible notes to be sold off so he could buy more Bitcoin. I mean, he's going to get above 100 Bitcoin himself pretty soon. And all these other guys are joining in. And when you collectively have so many holders, and they just continue to hold regardless of what happens to the price, you know what? Then the price is going to stay steady. There's only so many Bitcoins out there, right? The circulating supply is really, really low. There's only about 15 million out there circulating, and total 21 million, but it's lower than that because a lot of people have lost their Bitcoin over the years. So you look at that, you look at maybe there's 15 million overall, and you look at how much is already locked in by the early holders, the miners, Satoshi himself, and now all these fund companies, retirement funds, and pension funds, and family offices, public trade companies, which is only getting started. I don't see this cycle ending like the previous cycles. I see it as more like a super cycle, and it'll just continue on because we still have that 4-year cycle, the 4-year halving event with Bitcoin, right? So that's how I see it. That's how I see it. Record asked about Clever. I think Clever is, I need to do more research on it, but I know that they were Tron Wallet, and they rebranded themselves. So now they're a universal wallet that basically handle multiple tokens and stuff like that. So they seem pretty interesting, but they were pumped up way too much recently, so that concerned me. But Clever looks like it's a pretty good project. Fan, I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to look at a bigger picture. I know so many people want to concentrate day to day, minute by minute, stuff like that. They want to become traders, but you don't want to become a trader. Ultimately, you want to be a holder. You want to mimic the big guys like Michael Saylor. What does he do? Dollar cost average. When things are lower, you take advantage. You buy the dips. You buy when there's bargains to be had, right? And you hodl, and that's it. You'll attain a life-changing wealth by doing that. Ingredients asks, is it safe to keep crypto on Binance, KuCoin, or after you buy, you should move them to your wallet? The right answer is to move to your preferred wallet, right? But I get a lot of people like the convenience of leaving them on the exchanges, or because there's no good universal wallet to store them or something like that. So if you're going to keep it on exchanges, then make sure you have 2FA turned on. Make sure you use something like Authy or Google Authenticator. Do not use your phone number as 2FA or email as 2FA. Always utilize like an Authenticator app. So, but I mean, the best move is to move it off. But if you do leave it in there, then make sure you have 2FA turned on. I think Venus is pretty good. They're basically MakerDAO and Compound combined for Binance Smart Chain, so I think they're pretty good. They came down a little bit recently because of some Bitcoin weakness, but They're coming back up. They're coming back up. If you look at the whole Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, I mean, look at Binance is almost back to 300. So that's why I said don't sleep on Binance. Never sleep on Binance. But all these other ones, like the Graph is coming back up above $2. PancakeSwap coming back up nearing 2 billion. I have no idea Ontology moved to Binance Smart Chain. I don't know what to deal with that. They're more a Neo partner, so I don't know what happened there. 1inch did, Venus. Reef is a Polkadot project, so I guess they also integrated Binance Smart Chain. So a lot of projects have moved to Binance Smart Chain. And that's not surprising. That's not surprising. Ravane, I don't like Ravane. They're more like a rewards program kind of thing, and their circuit supply was off for such a long time. So I don't know. I just didn't really like them. Larry, I appreciate that. Same to you. Boston Earth says Null's deep. I did hear about Null's, I think, pumping today. Yeah, good. 18%. I've been saying this for a while. Nulls is a fantastic project. They have a lot of things going on, but they've been overlooked because they've been down. They're ultra small cap. But once they break $1 and they get some traction, I think they could really fly. So I hope to see that happen, because unfortunately with nulls is whenever Bitcoin retraces a little bit, everyone panics, it sells off nulls, and then it goes back to where it was. Hopefully it can hold and go above $1. If it breaks $1 and continues on, it could definitely move in a big way. Digo, I don't know what Digo is. Dago. Cross-chain NFT DeFi protocol infrastructure offering an open NFT ecosystem where anyone can mint, initiate NFT mining. Okay. NFT play. Where are they? Yeah, they're on Binance. Interesting. Man, horrible website. Well, I have looked at this before. Yeah, I have looked at this before. I haven't used it yet, but it does seem to have all the right things to get hot and pump. So I have to look into it more, but they can promise. They got promise for sure. But being up 40% today, you probably don't want to FOMO into there. Vaughn, appreciate that. Claudio. Any thoughts on Ditch BlockFi news? I have no idea what it is. We are a team here to expose BlockFi non-transparent, risky practices. Sounds like a whole lot of FUD. Sounds like they're in the business of FUD. Why do you care, Claudio? I guess, are you a BlockFi user? Kevin, Flow. In terms of NFTs, Flow is definitely, I believe, one of the most undervalued ones out there. You look at Chili's have gone up tremendously recently, even above Engine. But Theta, Chili's, and Engine, Flow, Decentraland, Wax, Orion, Chromia, and Ultra, these guys, they're all very, 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 very hot right now. So Flow is actually very undervalued, I believe, because of what they're, even with NBA Top Shots, I think that makes them huge. But they're going way beyond that. When is Dogecoin coming? A lot of people ask me that. I may really think about creating one. Have you looked into Mandela Exchange? I did. I don't like it. It seems like they're just like a copy of Binance. I don't get the point of them. And they keep saying, oh, powered by Binance Cloud. I don't hear anyone else say that. I don't even think that's a real thing. I think Cody looks interesting, and it has been doing very well. There's some FUD on Reddit about it, but FUD is FUD. You got to really do your homework on it because a lot of people just like type a whole bunch of stuff and it looks real, but a lot of it could be just FUD. It's not real. So, but and I know Cody does sound pretty interesting, so I think they're pretty good play. I think they are. Um, what else is there? Have you seen V's NFTs? Yeah, the Ecomies NFTs. They have partnered up with some big movie studios, also with the NFL. So that could be huge. But they're not really small cap. They're already big. Nick, I looked at Energy Web Token before, but I can't really comment on them because I haven't done a deep dive yet. So can't really comment on them. Um, Link, does Link deserve a pump? I don't know if it deserves a pump, but I mean it's in top 10. $30, not too bad. So Link for oracles is the dominant powerhouse. There's no worries about anyone overthrowing Chainlink in the near future or maybe even ever. So yeah, so Chainlink, you're fine. Waifu token, what is this? Anime centric ERC token on here. Okay, it's meant to create unique digital trading cards that user. I think I've seen this before. Yeah, I think they're a little bit too new. I think everyone right now is trying to get into NFTs, which is fine. But if you're just looking at ultra low caps to get in and hope that it becomes $1 million lottery ticket, be careful. Be careful. A lot of these NFT plays are still relatively new. Who knows where the market is going to expand to? So be careful when you're just searching for ultra low caps to get in. Limpo rebranded. Okay, huge NFT player. I have heard of Limpo before. Man, they have really fallen. They were way much higher. Man, they have really fallen. Yeah, if they're rebranding to NFT play, it's probably too late. It's probably too late, but maybe not. I don't like companies. I don't like projects that basically they were involved with something and they failed and now they're just rebranding to DeFi or NFT because that's the hot thing. I don't like it. That means they just couldn't get it done, right? That means the team just basically gave up and starting a new direction, and I don't like that. Do you have an RTX 3070 supply? I do not. I'm not in mining, but I hear it's very, 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 very profitable right now. Ethereum mining is very, very profitable. If you make a George coin, what are your thoughts on RLY rally? I don't know. Is this do they allow you to mint tokens? Goal is to be a decentralized network for creators to monetize and align themselves with their community. The community is in charge of making decisions for how the network evolves, not the rally team itself. Interesting. Oh man, they're not in any good exchanges, but the project's in beta, use at your own risk. Yeah, sounds interesting, but too new. I did talk about Harmony recently. People asked me about Harmony. It does look like a pretty good project. Their team is stellar, and they have some really good backers too. So I haven't done a deep dive yet, but they seem like they're a pretty good project, and they've been doing pretty well too. So 400 million, so they're definitely up and coming. And they're on Binance and KuCoin and Binance.us. Those are big pros right there. So Saint Mick says once ETH2 comes out, mining is dead. I don't know about that. It might not even come to that. So EIP, Ethereum Improvement Protocol 1559, that's coming in July. That might cause a contentious fork because the miners don't like what Vitalik is proposing. So if somehow it gets green lit, 51% of the miners do like it, but 49% that don't. The 49% miners, maybe they've split off into another Ethereum fork, and maybe they continue mining then, and then maybe just stay with it. Ethereum Classic is also around for mining too. They don't have any plans to move to proof of stake, as far as I know. So there could be still mining opportunities for Ethereum, just maybe not ETH itself. But yeah, we'll have to see. I never liked Golem because it's like a supercomputer supposedly for you to render graphics or movies or whatever, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just too slow, too expensive. It's much cheaper to just buy the latest workstation and do whatever you need to. So Golem just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. All right, guys, that is it. So overall, Bitcoin is doing pretty good. It's about to head back to 58,000 and break 60,000. It's about to form a new high. So I think things are looking pretty darn good. Now, today, altcoins, not all of them are rallying. And that's because a lot of the money is going into Bitcoin. But once it does form a new high and kind of stay steady, I think the altcoins will come up in a very, very, very big way. So, yeah, definitely a good time to be a holder. Those of you guys that took advantage of the recent dip to 43,000 to 45,000, right? Now you're feeling pretty good, and no one really remembers those dips anymore. I do have one last announcement, and that is I will be joining BitBoy tonight on his stream, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're just going to collaborate and talk about F2 Pool a little bit, talk about some altcoins, Bitcoin, all that good stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have a stream afterwards myself. That would be too many streams, but yeah, tune in tonight, guys. Show me some support, show all Georgia some support, and I think we'll have a good time there. So all right, guys, that is it. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you tune in tonight, and we'll see where Bitcoin is by that time. Maybe it'll be above $60,000. Who knows? All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.